Good afternoon, it's Sunday the 14th of March, update whatever. Just to show you where we are, taking the lids off and everything is getting huge in the propagators. They've not been heated for some time because I just cook them off, but as you can see things are getting massive, so it's time to pot these on. So I bought a load of these cheap on eBay. These are 1 litre square pots. Again, I've gone square rather than round, because if you lock them together you make you more room for your root bowl and you'd lose a load if they were round. Talking about the root bowl now, let's just take a look at one of the little ones and you can see why we need to pot these on. See all that root coming through at the bottom? It's a big root bowl there and it needs some more room. So with these 1 litres you can clearly see we're going to get a lot more bang for our buck and a lot more room to pot them on. I'm not sure if I'm going to do all of them, to be honest. I have to play it by ear. My plan is, once I've potted these on, to get as many as I can on the windowsill, where they'll get lots of nice natural light. I want to look, there's my beautiful tree come back to life. I'm looking forward to looking back on these videos and seeing how awful that thing looked in the winter in the snow. But look at that beautiful blossom. Anyway, not to get too distracted. That is basically the plan. So once I've potted these on to the 1 litre pots, it's obviously going to leave me room within the propagators again to start looking at my second batch. So this is the second batch of seedlings. You can obviously see the difference in the size because they were planted about 2 months later. As I say, lost some of these to that harsh weather. You'll see lots of gaps here, but equally I've got some really nice strong plants here growing up beautifully, and these will need to be potted on to the next size up, so they've got room to grow. So it's all very good. So the next bit will be in the greenhouse. Cheers. Good afternoon, here we are in the greenhouse, and the greenhouse had a bit of a clear out last weekend, getting it all match fit for the spring and summer. So before I come up with the chilies, just quickly, got loads of stuff ready for my hanging baskets. These little plug plants you can buy from the garden centre. So for each of these, like these marigolds that are just beautiful, this is £4 for 20, so these are great value if you get a chance. And you know, you don't have to muck around with the seed and all that, these are all going to take off. So these are lovely. And likewise, I really do like my petunias and some of the geraniums and stuff. So I've got some really interesting bright flowers already nicely started off. I want to do my hanging basket, so that's all good. Other than that, I overwintered my fuchsias. Some of these will have made it, some of them won't. I'm not going to worry about them just yet. And also overwintered some of my trailing ivy, which should be nice in their baskets as well. Other stuff I've got a few more plug plants. The propagators are pretty much rammed full of seeds at the minute. Mainly, funnily enough, tomatoes and some really basic flowers. I've not gone crazy on all the weird stuff because most of it doesn't come out anyway. Other little bits and pieces, some shop bought toms again, just to get ahead of the game with there. And as you can see, there's a whole bunch of different varieties of toms. This is a Portuguese plant, I can't remember what it's called. It grew up to about 6 foot high and then died, so I'm trying to bring that back to life. Brugmansia and some of my overwintered chilies that I've been keeping in my office. But back to the main event. So what I'm going to do now for the next hour or so, I'm guessing, is I've got my chilli plants that you've seen from the propagators that have been under the lights, all very well and good. They are in a small root bowl here, and we're just going to transfer them over into these 1 litre pots. So whereas I was using the seedling soil for these, I'm going to use a proper multi-compost now. And this is all much for muchness, this stuff. This stuff's got added John in his, I don't even know what that is, but I think it's something that, like a sandy kind of stuff that makes your soil a bit better, but whatever. So yeah, this is all I'm going to do now. So I'll have a cup of tea and a biscuit, and then I'll get stuck in. So I've got these ones to do, and these ones to do. All good. Cheers. So this is just a bit of an update on the process. So what I've got is I bought a box full of these. I think it's like 20 quid for 200, so it's pretty good value, and these are nice hard rigid ones, rather than like the little ones that I was using earlier that you see are really kind of a soft, nasty, cheap plastic. So these are good. These are nice. So all I'm doing with these is fill them up to about there with this new compost. Water them, don't soak them, but just make them wet enough that they'll be kind of damp. And then I'm moving each of the plants out of their original little potting things. So let me just show you. We should be able to see a bit of root ball here if I can steady the camera. Not sure I'm going to do it. I'll work it out. Let's see if this works. Stay still. Yeah, that might do it. Yeah, so let me turn this upside down. Take that off. And then we get a good look at the root bowl here. You can see all that root. So that's a lovely big fat juicy root bowl. All good to go. And then all I'm doing is just put that down for a second so I can muck around with it. Back again, very professional. So make a nice big hole in that damp earth. Press this in nice and tight and as deep as I can. And then just give it a little more of this nice new earth. Pat it down so it's nice and supported. Lovely, that's not going anywhere. Stick the name tag back in so we don't get confused about what we got. And then put it over here in this tray. Boom. So there you go. That's basically the whole process. See you in a bit. So just almost finished the first tray now. So there's 24 of those now. And as you can see, they're really nicely seated. They've got much more room to grow. They're going to be a lot healthier and a lot happier. So I'm going to take these upstairs and stick them on the windowsill. I have to have a bit of a play around with space upstairs because obviously I'm eating a lot of space up. And I don't think I'll be doing the potting up the seedlings today just because of time. But all good. Catch you in a bit. So here we go, we're still doing the repotting. It's coming on quite nicely, but just something I wanted to cover quickly what I remember. We want to bury these as deep as we possibly can in these 1 litre pots, so just to kind of show you the sizes of the thing. So I want to get this, when I put it in, rather than just having it at the surface, I want to get it as far down as I can. But you might notice there's quite a lot of these little leaves at the bottom. So all I want to do is just literally just clip those off with my fingernail, and you can see what we're left with there. It just gives you a nice plant with quite a deep stem. So if you can imagine, once it's planted in, we want it to be as close as we can like that. So what we're doing is we're giving it the maximum opportunity to like expand its roots and everything. So that's quite simple, and this is just some examples of them here. So you can see, maybe if you take a look at this fella, I've taken all the lower leaves off, and this one here, and then the hope is I'll get sufficient light and they'll go really nice and bushy because of that, because they're not wasting any energy anywhere else. So that was just a quick update. All looking good, and again, if London Porter want to sponsor any of my videos, I'll happily take payment in beer. Only a few left now and we're nearly done. Cheers. Right, last bit of quite a long video today. I'll just pan out so you can see what I've done. So what I've done is I've taken the most developed of the chilies and I've just put them in these planters along the windowsill. Something I'm going to say that you probably might notice if you look really up close. They've all gone floppy. and they kind of look a little bit retarded. If you look at this poor little bugger, all droopy and sad and not having a good day. Let's just pop down into the temperature. If you can see that, you'll remember that when they were in the propagator, oh bloody hell, focus, damn you. Yeah, that's not working. Not very good with cameras, am I? When they were in the propagator, they were somewhere between about 80 and 90 degrees, where in here they've dropped right down to kind of 60, 70 degrees really. So what's happened is all of these plants are having a massive shock to their system. Today's a really horrible and traumatic day for them being replanted, having their roots interfered with. I've obviously watered them, so they've got cold water now in with their roots. They're in new soil, and it's going to take them some time to get comfortable with that. So we're getting a lot of curl in here, and just they're really like bedraggled and knackered. This will change. They will heat up. They will get better. So what I've done is I've put all the largest, or like all the most robust plants I can, up on the windowsill, because these are kind of hardier, so they should generally be okay. They'll get the direct light from outside in the garden, and as you can see, they're also sitting above a radiator. So back here with our traditional setup, there you go, with my light and my propagators, what I've done here is I've put all of the smallest plants into the propagators. So let's just take one of these just to show you what I mean. So this is, that's a boot, so that's one of the super heavyweight hard hitters. So if I show you the boot compared to the poblano that's sitting behind it, this is a very small plant, whereas the poblano is really a big and well developed plant. So I'm keeping those all in the propagators to keep them warm. And I've done the same in the other propagator. It's all the smaller plants, and then I've just got sitting outside of the propagator, so these guys are going to get the benefit of the light, but they won't have the benefit of the propagator covers and that kind of microclimate. I've got kind of all the mediums, if that makes sense. Again, if you see this fella, look how sad he is, you know, look at that, he's really had a bad old day. But I'm going to leave the radiator pumping out on full tonight. They're going to get loads of light. So tomorrow, now look, they're all like drooping over and falling over and feeling unwell. Massive trauma to them today. But as of tomorrow, and over the next few days, we'll see these put right back up. They've had a nice injection of water. They've got these massive areas now. Remember when I showed you that really small root bowl? Look at what they can grow into now. It's massive. So these guys should go absolutely bloody crazy. So there you go. That's rather a long day, but a really good day. And again, you know, this year, this light has just been unbelievable. I can't believe the difference it's made compared to where I was last year with my chilies. This is just a huge advantage. Also planting out into these litre pots, using the square ones to improve the volume, so I'm getting more soil in there, more of a root base. It's just fantastic. So yeah, it's been a really good year, and we will see how we're doing next week. Cheers.